There are some things that will absolutely wreck your cruise, and in this video we're going to share with you what those are so that you don't do them. So look, whether you're a first-time cruiser who wants to make sure your very first cruise goes in a great way, or whether you're a veteran cruiser just want to get a refresher, this video is going to help you out a lot, so stay tuned, it's coming up. 5 cruise mistakes that will ruin your cruise. That's what this video is about. But if you're with us for the first time, my name is Jason, this is Kelly, and we are the Travel Scouts, and we aim to be your cruise information channel. So if you love cruising, consider subscribing. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with number 1, and that is that you don't want to forget your important documents. Look, not every document is created equal. There are some documents that you need in order to board on the cruise ship. So in most cases, this will be your passport, and sometimes it can just be a government issued ID and your birth certificate. But look, you want to check with your travel advisor if you have one, or check with your cruise line to see what documents are needed for the boarding process of your cruise. Most of the time you'll get an email that will lay that out, but you can also check online. So make sure you know what those are, because that could cause things to go, well, actually could cause them to not go.
Yeah, and when we're talking about our documents, not only do you not want to forget your documents, but you also want to make sure that, for example, your passport is not expired. That's a huge thing. Check and make sure if you're bringing a birth certificate that it's actually an original birth certificate, because those are very important things.
That is a really good point. And with the passports, it has to be at least, what, 6 months away from the expiration date?
That is correct, yes.
Check your documents. It can ruin your cruise.
Okay, let's move on to number 2, and that is not leaving enough time to get to your ship on embarkation day. Now, if you are going to be flying, I never recommend flying in the same day that you're scheduled to sail. Flights get delayed, there's all kinds of crazy things that can happen, so you definitely want to make sure that you fly in the day before just to give yourself plenty of time to not miss the ship.
And also with driving, we have had, if you've watched some of our vlogs going on cruises, we have had some interesting experiences where we have tried to drive down the day of our cruise. We've ran into weather, we've had car trouble, we've had traffic issues. Make sure you get to the port early. You've got all that anticipation coming, the money spent, all of that. So plan plenty of time, please. And then Kelly, you know, speaking of leaving plenty of time, you also, when you go ashore at the various cruise port destinations, you want to make sure you leave plenty of time to get back on the ship too, right?
You don't want to be a pier runner.
Don't want to be a pier runner. You don't want to be jogging away with everybody cheering you on in that last little bit. But look, it can happen. You know, sometimes we go with the cruise lines excursions, and when you do that, they're going to guarantee that you're good getting back to the ship. That's one of the benefits of doing that. But you know, sometimes you can save a lot of money if you go and you book your own excursion in different ways, and you just go out and explore the areas you go to. And look, there's no problems with that, but leave plenty of time, because life can happen. The taxi can break down. Somebody unfortunately could get injured and they have to go to an emergency room and maybe get some stitches or something like that. If you don't have time baked in for that incident that can occur in some way, you could be missing your ship.
Yeah, and also I want to say, make sure that you understand the difference between ship time and local time. You want to stay on ship time. Sometimes our phones will autocorrect to the local time, and that can throw you off and cause you to miss your ship.
And thankfully, when you're getting off the ship, not only have they announced it multiple times, but there's usually a sign or something right there as you're getting off reminding you of what ship time is. It's time for that time check.
Number 4, now that is acting up while you are on your cruise. Look, there are certain things that you can do that will actually get you kicked off the ship.
Yep, and Kelly is always getting on to me about acting up. But here we're not talking about the kind of acting up that many of us would do. We're talking about stuff that's a little over the edge. Recently, there was a Royal Caribbean sailor who was, while they were at port, had a lower deck and thought he'd do a little cliff jumping in and videoed it. It went viral and all of that, but he got escorted off the ship and banned from the cruise line for life. There's also been some fights recently happen on some ships too, right?
Yeah, there's been some fights going on, so, you know, be nice, play nice.
Listen to the lady. She has kept me straight for more than 20 years of marriage now. Listen to her. But now let's move on to number 5, and that is you don't want to bring any illegal items on board. Now, look, I know all of...
Can I just stop for a minute?
Of course.
I'm not sure you should be talking to everybody about this point, because do you remember when you brought the illegal items on the ship and it got confiscated?
I truly... Oh. I was going to I have no idea what she's talking about.
It wasn't that illegal. Like, not drugs, but...
No, I had a shell trying to come back on board a ship and they said you can't take it. That wasn't a big deal. I'm not talking about that at all, Kelly. I'm talking about stuff that nobody that's watching us would do. But if a person brought something off the prohibited items list, or like somebody brought illegal drugs, something like that, that stuff not only will get you kicked off the ship, that stuff can get you banned for life. It can get you thrown in jail, not only on board a cruise ship, but also when you have those items at certain ports. So make sure you know what's prohibited, and I know none of you good people would do any of these things, but stay far away from anything on the prohibited items list.
To include conch shells.
To include conch shells. Okay, I've got one last power tip. As you can see, there's several things in here to know. The prohibited items list, what exact documents do you need? If these are the kind of things that you're like, you know what, I'm not so sure, I'm going on a new cruise line, or it's my first cruise, and you're looking for a travel advisor to help you navigate the way. Look, a travel advisor costs you no additional money. The cruise line gives them the commission for that. And look, Kelly, she is a travel advisor. She would love to help you. And when you reach out to us, the information is down in the video description. You're not talking to some side agent somewhere. You will be interacting directly with Kelly. So if you need some help, we'd be glad to help you.
And as a travel advisor, I always advise everybody to get travel insurance. Look, the cost is very, very minimal, and actually you can get travel insurance with a third-party vendor actually cheaper than what you can with most cruise lines, what they charge. So, you know, it covers everything from your medical expenses to if you need to be medevaced, they have dental coverage, they have lost luggage coverage, so it covers a plethora of things. And it's one of those things where, you know, if you were to have an accident or something were to happen, you're going to be very thankful that you do have it.
Yep, in our early days of cruising, we rarely got it, but now because the cost is so good, we would never sell without it anymore. Okay, loads more videos and cruise information coming out soon, so be sure you subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss it. God bless you, and we'll catch you in the next video.